in here are my stones, and this one is the Coticule. See? So, I was debating on something, and there's no debate anymore. This thing is about 3/4 of an inch thick, all the way around, except for that little corner. And this thing is almost perfectly flat. It does have a little variance right there. See that? So I think since I'm going to be down in my tools in my tool room a little bit later tonight, I'm just going to get my angle grinder and just start taking a little bit off those two opposite corners so it thinks it's flat. And when I get my lacquer to do the whole thing, I'll be completely done with it. I might as well, I want to be down there anyway because I want to shoot one last video before my surgery. And I also need to make a strap for Marcos. So, but right now, I was watching a video last night from Joseph over at Edge Dynamics, and he was talking about doing just a few strokes on the Coticule. And a certain amount was too many, so I just kind of just honed this last night. And all I did is I did 20 laps on the Jnat, and I'm going to give it a shave. I just shaved with it a couple days ago, so I know what it was shaving like before. So let me strap this thing. Okay, and the star of the show. This is a Cream-O original. My wife gave me in my Christmas stocking, so I have to at least try it. I've tried it before. I don't remember it so well. I just fucking bottle's half empty. Look at this shit. Squeeze a bottle and like, watch this. Fucking cheap, chintzy son of a bitches. Isn't that what they do? They like give you a bottle and it says an ounce on it, and they give you like 3/4 of an ounce and jack the price up 50 cents. I mean, it happens with everything. Alright, so I put that in my scuttle. I wet my brush. So if this doesn't give me a good lather, I'm going to go with the King of Oud. Getting ready to go get my hair cut. My barber, she's pretty cool. I'm going to get her to whack it off pretty good. Well, not whack it off. I'm going to get her to cut it back pretty good, because it's probably be like 6 weeks before I see her again. So it's coming up. I've got a lot of large bubbles though. Let me just keep working it. I'll be right back. Alright, so a little noxema in my face. I got a lot of stuff to do, man. I got a lot of stuff to do because I'm going to be laid up like a big dog for a while. And you believe my list. So I got it covered where my wife's son is going to accompany her to Walmart so she can remain safe. I do have a lot of stuff to do. This lather is like kind of like beer foam. I mean, there's a lot of it, but she's slapping this shit down my shirt. This stuff just has that smell of cheapness, you know. It reminds me too much. It reminds me too much of the Williams, that white puck we used to use. When that's what I used to use for a long time, because I didn't know there's artesians out there. When I got my first straight razor from my granddad's estate, that's when I started to look around how to do stuff. And I says, whoa, that soap smells pretty good. Be right back, I'm going to relather. Alright, so we're going with the King of Oud. And for the first time in a long time, I'm putting some bloom water on my face. So this video I'm going to make is a video that it's a procedure that I haven't done, and I looked 3 years. I haven't done this in 3 years. What I'm doing is I'm just going to refurbish a straight razor. I'm going to put some scales on it. And the scales are actually going to be something I've never used. The material is something I've never used before. And I'm not sure if the wood is too soft or not. So I'm going to put in some, I don't know what they're called. You put, the pins on your razor, like the hinge pins. There's another sleeve that goes outside of it. It fits really nice. Cut it to fit inside your scales. Glue it in, and you're set. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me get this lather, and I'll be right back. All right, that's more like it. So I was going to do a burning technique on it, and I will do a burning technique on something else, experimental, but this piece of bird's eye maple, I only have one piece of it, and it's barely enough to do a scale. So it's going to be thinner scales, so I should be good there, but we got scales that are, what, 3/8 of an inch thick? Yeah, they're 3/8 of an inch thick. It's too thin. You could burn it and it could warp. It will warp if you burn it too much. So I'm just gonna do a stain and lacquer. That's what I'm going to do. Now the star of the show. All right, this here is the this one here is the Shoemates tungsten. Nice little 4/8 razor, freshly honed, freshly stropped. I could have made this very beautiful, but I want to take it apart. There's no reason to. So let me heat it up. So this here is the Jnat edge. This is my first experience with a Jnat edge. Oh, damn, be a son of a bitch. Fucking guy. Ted Joseph knows his shit, man. Yeah, too bad he don't live closer. Now I gotta tell you, I've only one time have ever sent my razor out to be honed by someone else. That's my grandfather's razor. That's before he even shaved. Great feedback. But that was the first time I've ever shaved with a straight razor. And when I got it back and I started shaving with it, it was crap. I don't know who did the razor over there, but they don't. I'm talking about straight razor place. Now Now, I don't know how anyone else tests razors, or edge rather, but I do a 3-pass shave like on just part of my face, and I want to see the comfort, I want to see how it cuts, all that stuff before I send it out, because I don't like people coming back to me saying, hey, that sucks, you know what I mean? So I don't know how anyone else does it, especially if you got a guy who has a company and with multiple honers and a lot of people requesting honing. I don't know how they do it. So now the very last job that I did, I remember that job specifically because it was a pair of hole strands, I believe it's called, for a guy that I did a bunch of work for. And they're exactly the same razors. And he wanted matching camel bone scales. And I remember it bugged me because one was just slightly different than the other one. But that was the last set of scales I did. Camel bone is nice to work with though, I'll tell you. Really nice. And it looks like soft little white porcelain. Shit, that stuff's tougher than hell. Okay, oops. Kind of in a hurry. My appointment's in 55 minutes. This edge is quite a bit different. Because well, for one thing, the Coticule, you work it through a series of diluted slurries, and you just go for days. This one here gave me a nice fresh edge that I can really feel the difference in just 20 laps. And I'll tell you what, I don't even have a what's it called, the Tomagoro stones. I used the slurry stone that I was using for my 15K Chinese blue, which is a Coticule stone. So that's that, you know. Anyway, I got to go get some synthetic oil. Got to go stop at Home Depot, get my hair cut. Doing some work in in 2 rooms. Got a lot of stuff to do. We're going to go buy a bunch of meat, stock up our stand-up freezer, and I'm going to buy one of those I-2000 Generac generators. Maybe a 3000. It's probably a 3000 actually. Has a little bit more capabilities. Those are pretty nice little generators, like 50 pounds. Let's see how I'm doing here. Oh, maybe just a little bit on each side, like as usual. All right, beautiful shave, man. So, yeah, my barber likes me because I always walk in there clean and shit. You know, I went to a barber school for a couple of days just to check it out. And, oh man, that's nice and smooth. Beautiful shave. Feels good, too. Love to be shaved. Anyway, so, when these barber students get to a certain point, then they are allowed to cut people's hair from the public. Usually these are people that just walk right in. These people that walk right in, you're talking about like elderly people and just street people and just fuckers that don't even take care of themselves.